the product of a rational number and an irrational number. So I am taking one rational number 3 and I am multiplying that with an irrational number root 2. So 3 into root 2 is equals to 3 times root 2 or simply 3 root 2. Here if we observe this 3 root 2, we can clearly say that it is an irrational number because root 2 is an irrational number. Whenever this irrational number is being multiplied with a number 3, so definitely our result will be as an irrational number only. So the product of a rational and irrational number is always an irrational number. So option B is the correct option. Next question. What is the HCF of 8, 9 and 25? So whenever they will ask these kind of questions, instead of doing the LCM and HCF, we need to check whether logic is applicable or not applicable, because always we need to try to save the time. So let us check once. 8 and 9 if we take, in 8 table 9 won't come. The same way 9 table also 8 won't come. As well as these two won't come in any table. I mean same table. Next 8, 9 if you compare with 25, 8 table 25 won't come, 9 table 25 won't come, 25 table 8 won't come, 25 table 9 won't come. As well as these 3 won't come in any same table. So that I can conclude the HCF of 8, 9, 25 is 1, because only 1 is the common factor in all these 3 numbers. Next question is, the sum of 2 irrational numbers is always. So we should be very careful, especially these kind of questions. The sum of 2 irrational numbers. So first I am taking one irrational number, that is root 2, and I am adding this with another irrational number root 3. Here if we observe root 2 plus root 3, we cannot simplify further, as well as we cannot add also, because here the radicand is 2 and here the radicand is 3. So we cannot add these. So that's why our answer is an irrational number. Next, I am taking one more irrational number, that is 2 plus root 3. And I am adding this irrational number with one more irrational number 2 minus root 3. Here 2 minus root 3 is an irrational number and 2 plus root 3 is an irrational number. Both the irrational numbers I am doing addition. So what happens? Here plus root 3, here minus root 3 cancel. So we remains with 2 plus 2, that is 4. Where 4 is a rational number. Now if we observe these two cases, in the first case we got an irrational number, whereas in the second case we got a rational number. So we can say that the sum of 2 irrational numbers is rational or irrational. So rational or irrational, option C is the correct option. Next here, which of the following is not irrational? Actually all these options are having squares, so first option is given as 2 minus root 3 whole square. Now if we observe this clearly, here 2 is a rational number, whereas root 3 is an irrational number. So one is rational number and one is irrational number. If you do addition or subtraction, and in this case I am speaking, so that will be an irrational number only. So for this irrational number we are doing square again. So for irrational number, if you do square again, definitely we will get an irrational only. So option 1 we can remove. Next, coming to the next option, that is root 2 plus root 3 whole square. Root 2 plus root 3 whole square. Here root 2 is an irrational number, root 3 is also an irrational number. So these two irrational numbers, if you do addition, again we will get an irrational only. So for that irrational, again we are doing square. So for irrational number, if you do squaring, definitely we will get again an irrational number only. So second option also we can remove. Next, coming to the option number 3, root 2 minus root 3 into root 2 plus root 3. Root 2 minus root 3 times root 2 plus root 3. Now if we observe this question clearly, this question is in the form of a minus b into a plus b. So a minus b into a plus b is equals to a square minus b square. So here in the place of a we have root 2 and in the place of b root 3 is there. So let us substitute that values in a square minus b square. A is nothing but root 2, so root 2 square, minus b is root 3, so root 3 square. Square root, square root, square cancel, then we remains with 2 minus 3. 2 minus 3 is minus 1. Here minus 1 is a rational number, otherwise not irrational number. So in the question he is asking which is not irrational, so definitely option C is the correct option. Next question. The product of two different irrational numbers is always, let us check once. I am taking one irrational number root 2 and I am multiplying this irrational number with another irrational number root 3. Root 2 into root 3, that is root 6, whereas root 6 is an irrational number. Next, I am taking one irrational number 2 plus root 3. I am multiplying this irrational number with another irrational number 2 minus root 3. Now if we observe this clearly, this is in the form of a plus b into a minus b form. So a plus b into a minus b is equals to a square minus b square. Now in the place of a we have root 2 and in the place of b we have root 3. So if we substitute in a square minus b square, 2 square minus root 3 square. So here square root square cancel, then we remains with 2 square minus 3. 2 square is 4 minus, here square root square cancel, so remains with 3. Then 4 minus 3 is equals to 1, where 1 is a rational number. Now if we observe this clearly, here it is an irrational number, whereas in this case it is a rational number. So we can say that the product of two different irrational numbers is maybe rational or maybe irrational. It means option C, both of the above. Coming to the next question. The sum of a rational number and an irrational number. So I am taking one rational number 3 plus an irrational number some root 5. So now if you observe these two, here 3 is a rational number and root 5 is an irrational number. So we cannot simplify this further. So answer is just 3 plus root 5 only, which is a rational number, irrational number. So we can say that the sum of a rational and irrational number is always irrational only. Next, express 98 as a product of its prime numbers. Let us check. So we need to do the prime factorization for 98. 2 4s are 8, 1 carry, 2 9s are 18. Now 49 will come in 7 tables, so 7 7s are 49. 49. Then 98 is equals to, here 2 is there only one time, so 2 into, here 7 is there 2 times, so 7 power 2. Then 98 is exactly equals to 2 into 7 power 2. That is 2 into 7 power 2. Next, the exponent of 2 in the prime factorization of 144. So we need to do prime factorization of 144. 2 7s are 14, 2 2s are 4, 2 36 are 72, 2 18s are 36, 2 9s are 18. Then comes with 3 table, 3 3s are 9. Now let us write how many times each number is coming, and in this question he is asking only the exponent of 2. So I need not to worry about any other numbers. Here 2 2 2 2. So total 2 is there 4 times, so that can be written as 2 power 4. Then he is asking about only the exponent of 2, so that's why I am worrying only about this number, that is power 4. So option A is the correct option. Next, Euclid's lemma states that for given positive integers a and b, there exists unique integers q and r such that a equals to bq plus r. Where? And in this question he is asking the condition actually. So that condition is 0 less than or equals to r, which is less than b. So option B is the correct option. This is direct statement with the condition. Next, the decimal expansion of the rational number 14,587 divided by 250 will terminate after. After how many decimals it will terminate, we need to find out. So let us check how to solve this kind of questions. In this question, he is not asking us to find out the exact decimal position. He is only asking after how many decimal points it will terminate. So no need to do any long division kind of things for this. Just simply take the denominator, that is 250, do prime factorization for that. 5 50s are 250, 5 10s are 50, 5 2s are 10. Now that denominator 250 can be written as here 1 2 3, so 5 power 3 into here 2 is there only one time, so that can be written as 2 power 1. Now observe the bases. Here 5 and 2 are the bases for which base highest power is there. Here for 5 the highest power is 3, so that will become the after how many decimals it will terminate. So here for 5 the highest power is 3, so the after 3 decimal places this decimal expansion will terminate. In case for 2 only highest power is there, means that will only answer here in this case. So for 5 highest power is there, because here 2 power is only 1, whereas for 5 the power is 3, so that's why it will end after 3 decimal places. So option C is the correct option. Next, observe this one. The decimal expansion of the rational number 97 divided by 2 into 5 power 4 will terminate after. In the previous case, the denominator we did prime factorization, whereas in this case already it is prime factors only. That is given as 2 times 5 power 4. Only 2 is there, so it means 2 power 1. Now if we observe these two clearly, here we can say clearly that for 5 the power is 4, whereas for the 2 the power is 1, so highest power is 4. So it means this decimal expansion will terminate after 4 decimal places. Next, when a number is divided by 7, its remainder is always. So whenever we are dividing a number by some particular number, always the remainder should be smaller than it. For example, I took one number 4 and I'm keep on multiplying, dividing. Okay, let us observe this. What happens? 4 2s are 8, 0 remainder. 4 2s are 8, 1 remainder. 4 2s are 8, 2 remainder. 4 2s are 8, 3 remainder. Now next if we take again 12, 4 3s are 12, 0 remainder. So in this case I took the divisor as 4, whereas our remainders are 0 1 2 3 only. So if we observe this logic, the logic is always the remainder is smaller than the divisor. So in this given question the divisor is 7. So then if the divisor is 7, then definitely the remainder should be smaller than 7. So less than 7. Option C is the correct option. Next question. 6 plus 5 root 3 minus of 4 minus 3 root 3 is which kind of number? So given question, if I write again 6 plus 5 times root 3 minus 4 minus 3 root 3. Now the first thing I will do is remove the bracket. 6 plus 5 root 3. Here minus into 4, minus 4 minus into minus 3 root 3 plus 3 root 3. Now if we simplify this further, here 6 minus 4, that is 2. Next 5 root 3 plus 3 root 3, it is 8 root 3 plus 8 root 3, which cannot be simplified further. Now if we observe this clearly, here root 3 is an irrational number, so definitely this total value will be again an irrational number only. So option B is the correct option. Next he is asking about the number pi is, already we know pi is an irrational number. So pi value is irrational number. Actually pi, whenever we are using, especially in the mensuration or surface areas and volumes topic, pi value we will take it as 22/7. Just that is an approximate value but not exact value. Pi approximate value is 22/7, so not exact values. That's the reason pi is always an irrational number only. Next, if two positive integers p and q can be expressed as p is equals to ab square, so p is given as ab square and q is equals to a cube b, where a comma b being prime numbers, then what is the LCM? So here p is given as ab square, right? So that's I'm writing it as a into b square can be written as b into b, which is equals to, here q is a cube, b is given, a cube means a into a into b as usual. Now he is asking to write the LCM of these two. So what we need to do is first check the common. Here a is common, so write that into, and here b is also common in both, write that one also. Now whatever extra is remaining, write the total extra also. Here b is extra, so into b. Here a is extra, into a. Here again a is extra, into a. So this will become our LCM. If we simplify this further, here a 3 times is there, so a power 3 into, here b is there 2 times, so it will become b square. A cube into b square is the LCM of the given numbers p and q. Next, every dash number can be written as the product of powers of primes. That's obviously composite numbers. Every composite number can be written as the product of primes. So for example, if I take one number 4 is a composite number. So if I try to write the prime factorization for this, it will become 2 2s are. So 4 is equals to 2 is there 2 times, right? So that's why it is 2 square. Composite number can be written as product of powers of prime numbers. Next, the decimal expansion of every dash, either terminating or non-terminating, repeating. So actually in the rational numbers we will be having 2 types of decimals. One is terminating decimal and one is non-terminating repeating type of decimal. So obviously that is the option A. Every rational number having either terminating decimal or else non-terminating repeating type of decimal. Next, 17/8 has a dash decimal expansion. So 17/8. Again in the next questions also maybe these kind of questions are there. So that's why I will explain here only clearly. Whenever if the question is about whether a given particular question having a terminating decimal or else non-terminating decimal, the same process. Completely forget about the numerator. We don't have any work with the numerator. Simply take the denominator. 8 is there. So do the prime factorization of that 8. So for 8, if we do prime factorization, 2 4s are 2 2s are. So here 2 2 2. So 2 is there 3 times, so 8 can be written as 2 cube. Now we need to check in the denominator only the number 2 is there, or only the number 5 is there, or only 2 into 5 is there. If these are there in the denominator, then that kind of number is terminating. Otherwise it will be having non-terminating repeating type of decimal. In the denominator, if only number 2 is there, or only number 5 is there, or only 2 and 5 are there, then it has terminating decimal. Otherwise non-terminating repeating type of decimal. And in this case we need not to worry about the power whatever it may be. Here if we observe the denominator, 2 power 3 is there. So it means the base is 2. So I can conclude that definitely it will be having a terminating. This only in mathematical statements we will say, if the denominator is in the form of 2 power n into 5 power m, in simple way I said like this. Next, 7 into 11 into 13 into 15 plus 15 is a 7 into 11 into 13 into 15 plus 15. Now if we observe this question clearly, till here no plus no minus symbol, and here one more is there. So this is total first is called as first term and this is called as the second term. As we already know, terms are always separated by the plus or minus symbol only, not with multiplication symbols. So total two terms are there. Now in these two terms we will be having the number 15 common. So I will take out that 15 common then. If I take out that 15 common, observe here, this 15 I took outside now. So if I took that 15 outside, then obviously I remains with these three numbers only. So that I will write 7 into 11 into 13. Here plus symbol is there, so that plus symbol as it is. Now from the second term, I already took 15 common. So here nothing is there. So whenever we will be having nothing, always it will be remains with 1. So plus 1 as it is. Now that will be equals to 15 times here 7 into 11, that is 77. 77 times 1 3 13, that will be 1001. 1001 plus here 1 as it is. So we will get 15 times 1001 plus 1 1002. Now already we know what is a prime number and what is a composite number. So prime number having only two factors, that is number 1 and the number itself, whereas composite number having more than two terms, the number 1 and the number 2 itself. Besides these two, some other numbers also will be having factors. Now if we observe this clearly, 15 into 1002, here 15 is a factor, 1002 is a factor, and every number will be having 1 as a factor, as well as the number itself is a factor. So I can say that it has more than two factors. So definitely this is a composite number. Next question. This is a tree diagram. I think everyone is expert in this. Here two branches are there, 3 and 7. So it says simply we need to multiply that. 3 sevens are 21. So this box should be filled with 21. 3 sevens are 21. Next, here this branch having again 4 and 21. So 4 into 21, 4 into 21, it is 84. So it means this y should be replaced with 84. So now if we observe clearly, x value is 21 and y value is 84. So y value is 84 and x value is 21. So option B is the correct option. Next question. The decimal expansion of the number 441 divided by 2 square into 5 cube into 7. As I already said in the previous case, if the denominator is in the form of 2 power n into 5 power m, then only it will be having a terminating decimal, otherwise non-terminating repeating type of decimal. Now if we observe this clearly, in the denominator 2 is there, okay, so 5 is there, that also okay, but extra number 7 is there. So before going to the conclusion, I need to check first any simplification is possible or not possible. So here 7 ones are 7 6 are 42. From 44, 42 completed means 2 will remain, then it becomes 21. 7 3s are 21. Now after simplification, I got number something like 63 by 2 square into 5 power 3. As I already said, to check whether it has having a terminating decimal or non-terminating type of decimal, we need not to worry about the numerator at all. Now if we observe the denominator clearly, here 2 power something, 5 power something. So obviously this is in the form of 2 power n into 5 power m. So definitely I can say that 441 divided by 2 square into 5 cube into 7 is having a terminating decimal. So option A is the correct option. Next. What is the LCM of 2 cube into 3 square and 2 square into 3 cube? 2 cube into 3 square and 2 square into 3 cube. In the previous question, I said the same LCM by writing all the products, and then I decided what is the LCM. So in this case, now I will say the both the methods. So which one you feel easy, go with that method. The first method is, first check for the common numbers. Here 2 power 3 is there, here 2 power 2 is there. For writing the LCM, always we need to check the highest power. So here 2 power 3 and 2 power 2. So the highest is 2 power 3. So 2 power 3 into, next here 3 power 2 into 3 power 3 is there. So here power 2, here power 3. Obviously power 3 is biggest. So 3 power 3. Then LCM of the given two numbers is 2 power 3 into 3 power 3. Completed. This is method 1. Next, second method, what we will do, we need to write the total expansion. What does it mean? Here 2 cube is there. So 2 cube can be written as 2 into 2 into 2 into 3 square can be written as 3 into 3. The same way, second number 2 square can be written as 2 times 2 into 3 cube can be written as 3 into 3 into 3. Now first write whatever the common are there. Here 2 is common, here 2 is common, here 3 is common, here 3 is common. So first write those 2 into 2 into 3 into 3. Now whatever the extra numbers are there, all those extra numbers also we need to write. That is, here 2 is extra, so into 2. Here 3 is extra, into 3. So now if we observe this final product or answer clearly, 2 is there one time, 2 is there second time, 2 is there third time. So it will be 2 power 3 into 3 is there one time, 3 is there second time, 3 is there third time. So 3 cube. So our LCM is 2 cube into 3 cube. Same like the first case. First case or second method, both will be definitely giving a same answer only. So which you feel easy, always stick to that method only. Next, a rational number between 3 by 5 and 4 by 5. So for finding a rational number between these one, 3 methods will be there actually, but always I will feel that the decimal method only will be very easy. So let us check once. 3 by 5. If you find out the decimal for this, do division. 5 comes 3 here. In 5 table 3 won't come, so 0.0 here. 5 6 are 30. 30 minus 30 0. So 3 by 5 is nothing but 0.6. The same way 4 by 5. 4 by 5 is equals to 5 here, 4 in the middle. 5 table 4 won't come, so 0.0 here. 5 8s are 40. 40 minus 40 0. So 0.8. 3 by 5 is nothing but 0.6 and 4 by 5 is nothing but 0.8. The same way we need to find out the decimal for all the denominators also, and we need to confirm which decimals lies exactly in between these two, 0.6 and 0.8. So let us check now. First option I have 7 divided by 5. So 7 divided by 5, if I do division, 5 here and 7 in the middle. 5 ones are 5, 7 minus 5 2, 0.0, 5 fours are 20. So 7 by 5 is nothing but 1.4. So here option A is 1.4. Next 7 by 10 0.7, 3 by 10 0.3, 4 by 10 0.4. Now all the options as well as the numbers which are given in the question all are in decimal form only. So now from these we need to confirm which decimal lies in between 0.6 and 0.8. Definitely that is 0.7. So option B is the correct option. Next, a rational number between 1 by 2 and 3 by 4. So now here in this case I said by using the decimal concept. Now it's the same kind of question I will explain with the another method, because always we need to check which method is easily applicable and which method consumes less time. And some students may be understood the first method, some students may understood the second method. So that's why it is necessary sometimes to explain all the possible methods. So let me go with the next method also here. That is 1 by 2 and 3 by 4 is there. So these are the two rational numbers. First of all, to compare these two rational numbers, we should have definitely the same denominator, but in this case the denominators are different. So by going with the LCM process, I will make the denominators same. Here the denominator is 2 and here the denominator is 4. So the LCM of 2 comma 4, I mean LCM of denominators is 4. Now this is 2. So in 2 table, where we will get 4? 2s are. So multiply that 2 here. Next, in 4 table, where we will get 4? That is 1s are. So multiply that 1 here. Then what we will get? 1 2s are 2 divided by 4. That is LCM, comma 3 1s are 3 divided by 4. That is LCM as usual. So now here if we observe this, 2 by 4 and 3 by 4. In between 2 by 4 and 3 by 4, normally we don't find anything. Because 2 by 4, 3 by 4 means nothing is there in between. Of course will be there, but we cannot able to see. 2 by 4 and 3 by 4, nothing is there. So what I will do is, here I will make 20. Just I am writing 0 for the numerator and denominator. 20 by 40 and 30 by 40. Now in between these 21 by 40, 22 by 40, 23 by 40, 24 by 40, 25 by 40, like this many are there. But all those are not there in the option. So it means making the denominators 4 doesn't have any sense at all. So that's why what I will do, anyway 3 won't come in 2 table 4 table, 5 won't come in 2 table 4 table, and I tried this for 4, it's not going work out. So I will go with this 8. Let us check that division, I mean in the denominator 8 number. So first number is given as 1 by 2 and the second number is given as 3 by 4. Simply, if we observe this denominator 2, in the denominator 2, where we will get 8 4s are. So multiply and divide by 4. Same way for second number also, in the here the denominator is 4. So simply multiply and divide with 2. So 1 4s are 4 divided by 2 4s are 8. 3 2s are 6 divided by 4 2s are 8. Now in between 4 by 8 and 6 by 8, we will be having one more number, that is 5 by 8. Obviously that is only our answer. So the rational number between 1 by 2 and 3 by 4 is 5 divided by 8. Next, which one of the following is not a rational number? Let us check once here. Root 2 is there, which cannot be simplified further. So this is an irrational number. Next, number 0 is there. 0 can also be written as 0 by 1. Then this is in the form of p by q, where p and q both are integers and q not equals to 0. So I can conclude that this is a rational. Next, root 4 value is 2 and 2 is a rational number. Next, under root minus 16. Observe this question clearly. Here under root minus 16. This is square root symbol, right? So inside of a square root, negative won't come. In case if this kind of questions are there, means that is called as an imaginary number, which is out of the 10th syllabus. That is intermediate topic, complex numbers. So this I can say that it is not a rational number. It is not a rational number. That is actually imaginary number. So now in the questions he is asking which is not a rational. Not a rational means except rational, any other number is possible. So it may be rational or it may be imaginary. So option A as well as option D both are possible in this case. Of course, in the question if they mention particularly multi-correct choice question, then only this kind of questions they will give, otherwise they won't give. So simply they will remove one option from that. Don't worry about it. Next, which one of the following is an irrational number? So let us check here. Here root 4 is nothing but 2, because 2 square is 4 and this root 2 is a rational number. Next, 100 if we observe, that is 10. 10 square is 100. So 10 is a rational number. Now in this option D, not like the previous case, here the minus symbol is outside of the root symbol, so no problem with the minus symbol. Then write minus as it is. Next, 0.64 is inside. So 8 square is 64. Here after the decimal 2 digits are there. So here we need to keep after the decimal 1 digit. So minus 0.8. Minus 0.8 is a rational number again. In the question he is asking which is an irrational number, then definitely this 3 root 8 is an irrational number. I mean, these three options are irrational numbers. That's why I am saying that that is an irrational number. Let us check then whether it is really irrational number or not. 3 times root 8 is there. So which is equal to 3 times root 8. I am writing it as 4 twos. So whenever we are writing a number as a product of two or more numbers, we need to make sure that one number is a perfect square compulsory. Here 8 I am writing as 4 twos. In this 4 is a perfect square, that is 2 twos are 4. Next 3 into, here root 4 into 2 I am separating it as root 4 into root 2. Next 3 as it is into root 4 is 2 into root 2. 3 into 2, 6 times root 2. Obviously we know 6 root 2 is an irrational number. So option B is the confirm. Next, which one of the following is not a rational number? Oh sorry, I think this question came early also. Okay, no problem, let it be. Which one of the following is not a rational number? So root 2 is irrational and 0 is a rational. Root 4 is 2, so that is also a rational, and this is imaginary number because as I already said in the previous question, inside of the root symbol negatives won't be there. If it is there like that, means that is considered as an imaginary number. So in this case he is not is asking which is not a rational number. So option A is possible as well as option D, both are possible. Next, the decimal expansion of the rational number 33 divided by 2 square into 5 will terminate after. So as I said already in the previous questions, whenever he is asking about the decimal places, we don't have any work with the numerator. So simply if we consider the denominator, that is 2 square into 5. Now here we need to observe for which number highest power is there. For 2 the power is 5, 2. For 5 nothing is there, means power is 1. Now in these two powers, that is 2 and 1, obviously 2 is bigger. So the given number will be having 2 decimal places. So it will terminate after 2 decimal places. That is option B is the correct option. If you do division and you check also, you will get the definitely same answer, that is 33 divided by 2 square is 4, 4 5 is 20. So 33 divided by 20, that is around 1.65. So here after the decimal after the digit, after the decimal 2 digits are there. Exactly that one only. Next question. The decimal expansion of the rational number 14,587 divided by 1250 will terminate after how many decimal places? So from beginning onwards I am saying whenever they are asking about the termination or decimal places, definitely we need to worry only about the denominator. So here the denominator is 1250. Simply do prime factorization of 1250. In the previous cases already they only give prime factorization, but in this case we need to find out it. Last digit is 0, so it will come in 5 table. 5 2s are 10, 2 remains. 5 5s are 25, 0 as usual. Again last digit is 0, it will come in 5 table. 5 5s are 25, 0. Again it will come in 5 table. 5 10s are 5 2s are. Now if we write the prime factorization of 1250, 5 is there 4 times, so 5 power 4 into 2 is there only 1 time, so 2 power 1. As I am saying from the previous problems onwards, to check whether after how many decimal places it will terminate, we need to check for the maximum power. Here for 5 the power is 4, here for 2 the power is 1. Out of these two, the 4 is the biggest number, so answer will be 4 decimal places, that is option D. Next, the least number that is divisible by all the numbers from 1 to 10, that is both inclusive. So for this kind of questions also same, again two methods will be there. One is coming from question to answer. In case if you are feeling that that is time taking, so you can go with options to question. Let us explain both. First I am going with options to question. the least number that is divisible by all the numbers from 1 to 10. It means the given number should be divisible by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Every number. Right. Let us check the first option. Here the first option is 10. 10 is not at all divisible by 7. 10 is not divisible by 3. 10 is not divisible by 8. 10 is not divisible by 6. 10 is not divisible by 4 also. So I can say that our first option I can remove clearly. Next, second option is 100. So if we observe this 100 also, let us check once. I'm sorry. Okay. Now if we observe the second number, that is 100. 100 is not divisible by 3. 100 is not divisible by 6. 100 is also not divisible by 9. 100 is also not divisible by 7. So option 2 also I can remove easily. Next, coming to the third option, that is 504. So 504, if we observe, option A, option B, both are small questions only, directly we can say, but whereas 504 is a little bigger number, as well as last digit is also not 0. So definitely we need to do some process for this. What is that process? We need to check whether it is divisible by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 or not. Last digit is 4, so that's why it is divisible by 2. Adding of all the digits, 5 plus 0, 0, 0 plus 4, sorry, 5 plus 4, 9. So 9 is the sum of the digits of the number, so it is divisible by 3. Next, for 4, last 2 digits we need to check, that is 0, 4. 0, 4 is divisible by 4, so definitely it is divisible by 4. Next, to be divisible by 5, the last digit should be either 0 or else 5. Whereas in this case, the last digit is 4, so definitely this is not divisible by 5. Now I can say that option C also gone. Next, here only we remains with the last option, that is 2520. Let us check whether it is divisible by each and every digit or not. Last digit is 0, so definitely it is divisible by 2. Next, for 3, sum of all the digits, 2, 5 plus 5, 7, 7 plus 2, 9, 9 plus 0, 9. So 9 is the sum of the digits, so definitely it is divisible by 3. Next, divisible by 4. Last 2 digits we need to check, that is 20. 20 is divisible by 4, so the total number is also divisible by 4. Next, with 5, if the last digit is 0 or 5, then it is divisible by 5 table. So here the last digit is 0, then definitely it is divisible by 5. Nice. Next, 6, right? So to check whether it is divisible by 6 or not, we need to check just basic, that is 2 and 3. Here it is divisible by 2 as well as 3, so definitely that's the reason it is divisible by 6 also. Next, for 7, instead of remembering the logic, it is better to go with the division directly. Let us do that, because I always feel that 7 logic is taking more time than the normal division. So that's why I won't prefer that. 7 times 1, 7 3s are 21, 4 remains, so 7 6s are 42 and 0 as usual. Yes, it is divisible by 7. Next, it is being divisible by 2 and 4, so definitely it will be divisible by 8 also. Next, 9, sum of the digits is 9, so it is divisible by 9 also. Next, 10, last digit is 0, then definitely it is divisible by 10 also. So the number is 2520. This is the first method. We checked each and every option. Then what is the another method? That is finding the LCM. Just from 1 to 10, take all the numbers and find out the LCM of those numbers. Then you will get same 2520 only. Next, the product of a non-zero rational number and an irrational number. When I am taking a rational number, that is 3 into, and an irrational number I am taking something root 3. So 3 into root 3, it is 3 root 3, which is an irrational number. So product of a rational number and irrational number is always irrational. So that is answer A. Next one. If two positive integers p and q can be expressed as p is equals to ab square and q is equals to a cube b, a comma b being prime numbers, then what is the LCM of those two numbers? I guess this is also we discussed already. Okay, let it be, no problem. So p is equals to ab square and q is equals to a cube b. No, in that option, I mean, some difference is there. Okay, now as I already said, we will be having two methods. So one method I am following here. Already in the previous questions only I discussed both the methods. So a cube is there. For writing the LCM, always we will prefer the biggest power. So here a nothing is there means 1. Here is power is 3. So 1 and 3. 3 is the biggest. So a cube. Next, for b, if we observe, here it is b square and here it is b. So b square and b nothing is there means b power 1. So b square and b power 1, if you observe, the power highest is 2. So b square. So the LCM is a cube b square. Option C. Oh, sorry, again the same question. P is equals to given as a b square and q is given as a cube b. To find the LCM, always we will prefer the highest power. Here a is only there, nothing but power 1. Here b is only there, but now nothing but power 1. Now if they observe this a power 1 and a power 3, always we will prefer highest power for LCM. So a cube is the next. For b square and b power 1 also we need to prefer the highest power, that is b square. So our answer is a cube into b square. Option C is the correct option. Actually, we maybe while pasting the pictures into this notepad, so maybe by mistake same picture I pasted 2 times, something like that happened. Next question. The largest number which divides 70 and 125. So as I already said in the previous questions only, whenever if these kind of questions are coming means we need to check for first logics only, then after we can go with the, if logics are not applicable means then only it is necessary to solve everything, because MCQ questions means always we need to check for time consumption. Without knowing only we will spend a lot of time on MCQ. So that is the reason we should be very careful while dealing with multiple choice questions or choose the correct answers. The largest number which divides 70 and 125. 70 is divisible by some number, 125 is also divisible by some number. Now to be divisible by some number, definitely this number should be smaller than 70. This number should be definitely smaller by 125 only. Because if I take greater than 70, that number won't be divisible, won't divides 70. If I take a number which is greater than 125, it won't divide 125 only. So from this logic, I can remove option D as well as option C, because those are already very bigger numbers than 70 and 125. Then remaining 13 and 65. 13 is smaller as well as 65. Both are smaller than 70 and 125. Now from these two, which one will be the correct option? So I am taking the first option and I'll check. 13 and 70 I am taking. 13 table I am taking first. 13 5s are 65. It means 5 will remain. So 70 if I divide with 13, remains with 5. Next, the same 13 I will check with 125 also. Then I need to get 8 as the number. So I may get or may not get. Let me check once. 13 1s are and 13 9s are. 13 9s are. 13 9s is 117. So if I subtract from 125, I remains with 8. Yes, I am getting the correct. So option A is the correct option. Next, the HCF of 65 and 117 is expressible in the form of 65m minus 117. Then what is the value of m? So here, for the numbers 65 and 117, HCF is expressed in the form of 65m minus 117. So I am first finding the HCF of 65 and 117. Here no method is necessary because this is MCQ type of question. So whatever the method you do also, definitely they need to accept it. So 65 ones are 65. 117 minus 65 is 7 minus 5 2, so 52. Now again bring this 65 here, 65. Continue the same division process again. 52 ones are 52. 5 minus 2 3, 6 minus 5 1, 13 came, so 15 again. 13 fours are 52, so 0 remainder. It means 65 and 117 HCF is 13. But according to the question, that HCF is 65m minus 117. 65m minus 117, that is equals to our HCF 13. Now take this minus 117 to the right side. If we take minus to another side, it will become plus. So 65m is equals to 13 plus 117. 65m equals to 117 plus 13 is 130. 65 ones are 65 twos are. So m is equals to 2. Next question. N square minus 1 is divisible by 8 if n is. Let us check from the options one by one. First I'll go with the natural number, because if I could able to solve with the natural number, so many logics I can able to find out, because in that only even numbers are there, in that only odd numbers are there. If natural number is not possible, means definitely I can confirm one thing from that. So let us check. First natural number is 1, right? So in the place of n I will substitute 1 now. 1 square minus 1. 1 square is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. Next natural number is 2. So 2 square minus 1. 2 square is 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. Next natural number is 3. So I am substituting 3 there. 3 square minus 1, that is 9 minus 1, which is equals to 8. And coming to the next natural number, that is 4. So in the place of n I am substituting 4. 4 square minus 1. 4 square is 16. 16 minus 1 is 15. Now if we observe these options, we can get to one conclusion, that is sorry, here first 0 we got, then 3 we got. Obviously remainder 3 means it is not at all divisible by 8, so no use. Next one we got here 8. 8 is divisible by 8 table. Next one 15. 15 is not at all divisible by 8. So now from this, is there any chance to decide something? Let us check. In the place of n, first I substituted 1. Then in the place of n, I substituted 3. 1, 3. Only possible. If I continue still, definitely I will get 5, 7, 9 like that also. So I can say that n square minus 1 is divisible by 8 if n is an odd positive integer. So odd integer, option C is the correct option. Next, for some integer q, every odd integer is of the form. So odd integer means compulsory some remainder should be there. It may, that is plus 1 or minus 1. So here plus 1 is there and here also plus 1 is there. That is q plus 1 or 2q plus 1. So which one is the correct option then? Q plus 1 na? Otherwise 2q plus 1 na? So let us confirm this. So whenever this kind of questions you are getting, means we need to check very clearly that q they gave I'm so sorry, the q they gave, it is what we say, odd number is given, or even number is given, or a natural number is given, or a whole number is given, or else an integer is given. That is must and should. because if they mention q as a natural number, then answer will be different. If they mention q as a whole number, then again answer is different. So if they mention again it's an integer, so it will be also different. So that's why we need to have a perfect knowledge about whether the q whatever they are discussing about, that is integer or natural number or whole number. So that will be very good then. So now in this case he is speaking about some integer q, right? So integer he is speaking about. Any integer we can take and we can substitute in the place of it. So always it will be satisfiable with only the option D. So if the q is an integer, then the odd integer is of the form 2q plus 1. Next question. For some integer m, so same like the previous question only, there also what we say integer only, here also integer only. So definitely we can say that it is 2q or 2m, because here option is m. So I mean sorry, alphabet or variable they used is m, so definitely it is in the form of 2m. Next. So now from the previous question and this question we can conclude one thing. In case that given number is q or else variable is q, means odd number is in the form of 2q plus 1, whereas even number will be in the form of 2q. Next, again we got one missing tree type of question. The missing number in the following factor tree. Here 2 and 3 are the branches, so simply multiply those two branches. So 2 3s are 6, so the missing number is 6. Very easy question. Actually if we get these kind of questions in the exams, means wow, it would be very good. Next question. What is the HCF of two consecutive odd numbers? So if you don't have any previous idea regarding this kind of question, so simply take the example and then apply that to the question. Is asking only two consecutive odd numbers. So I can say that 1 and 3 are consecutive odd numbers, 3 and 5 are consecutive odd numbers, 5 and 7 are consecutive odd numbers, 11 and 13 are consecutive odd numbers. So out of all these consecutive numbers, any one pair you take and find out the HCF of it. So I am taking 3 and 5. Let us find out the HCF of 3 and 5. 3 1s are 3, 5 minus 3 2, so again 3 comes here, 2 1s are 2, 1 again 2s are, so 1 2s are 2. So I can confirm that the HCF of 3 and 5 is 1. So not only in this 3 and 5, any pair if you take also that is consecutive odd numbers, always the HCF is 1 only. So the HCF of two consecutive odd numbers is 1. Next, HCF of consecutive even numbers. In the previous case he asked about the odd numbers, now in this case he is asking about even numbers. 2 and 4 are consecutive even numbers, 4 and 6 are consecutive even numbers, 10 and 12 are consecutive even numbers. So any one pair you take. I am taking 4 and 6. Let us do HCF. 4 1s are 4, here 2 remainder. These 2 and 4 again we need to do. So 2 4, if you do 2 2s are 4, 0 is the remainder. So I can conclude that 2 is the HCF. So it means HCF of any two consecutive even numbers is always 2 only. For consecutive odd numbers the HCF is 1, whereas for the consecutive even numbers the HCF is 2. Next, LCM of two co-prime numbers. You need to remember that is product. LCM of two co-prime numbers. Co-prime numbers means the two numbers which are having only number 1 as the cofactor. No other number is a cofactor. So those numbers are nothing but co-primes. So LCM of two co-prime numbers is always product of the numbers. Next, the product of LCM and HCF of two numbers is equals to, this is one formula I can say, LCM into HCF is equals to product of the two numbers. Product of LCM and HCF is exactly equal to the product of the numbers. So option C. LCM into HCF equals to A cross B. A number when divided by 61. A number when divided by 61, we don't know what number it is exactly, so I am taking that as x, and that when it is divided by 61 it gives 27 quotient and 32 as the remainder. So 32 as the remainder, I'm adding the 32. Then he's saying that it gives 27 as the quotient. A number when divided by 61 gives 27 as the quotient and 32 as the remainder. So we need to find out what number that is then. Otherwise, I think from options only it's better. Okay, observe here. A number when divided by 61. So first I am taking 1679 and I will divide with 61. We are getting the quotient as 27. For this 61 into 27, if we multiply, we will get 1647. So for that 1647, if I add the remainder 32, 1647 plus 32 is 1679. So option A is only correct option. Next, which one of the following rational numbers is a non-terminating decimal expansion? So as I already said for the previous question, if the denominator is in the form of 2 power n into 5 power m, if the denominator is in the form of 2 power n into 5 power m, then we can say that it has terminating rational number, otherwise non-terminating repeating type of decimal. So in simply words, if we say the denominator should contain only 2 and only 5, otherwise only 2 and 5, whatever it may be the power, then we can say that it is terminating, otherwise non-terminating repeating. So let us check one by one option. First option is given as 33 divided by 50. So numerator we don't have any work with, right as it is. Next, 50, if we do the prime factorization of 50, 5 tens are 5 twos are. So it is 5 square into 2. In the denominator only 5 and only 2 is there. So this is a terminating. This is terminating. Next, second option, 66 by 180. 66 by 180. 3 twos are 3 twos are 3 60s are 2 11s are 2 30s are. So 11 divided by 30 can be written as 3 into 5 into 2. 5 and 2 is there, but besides 5 and 2, some other extra number 3 is also there. So that's why I can say that this 66 by 180 is non-terminating repeating type of decimal. So option B. Next, the HCF of two numbers is given as 23 and LCM is given as 1449, and out of those two numbers one number is given as 161. Then he is asking the other number. So already we know the logic behind HCF and LCM. HCF into LCM is equals to product of the two numbers. So HCF is given as 23 into LCM is given as 1449, that is equals to one of the numbers is given as 161, and we need to find out the second number. Simply I'm just substituting in the place of HCF 23, in the place of LCM 1449, one of the numbers is 161. So here I need to find out the second number, right? So that's why what I will do, from the right side I will take 161 to the left side. Here it is multiplication, if I take another side it becomes division. So our answer will be then 23 times 1449 whole divided by 161. 23 ones are 23 sevens are. Next, 7 ones are 7 twos are 14, 7 sevens are 49. Two digits I am taking at a time, so keep 1 0 inside. So it will be 207. So the second number is 207. That is option B. Coming to the next question. Given that HCF of 1152 comma 1667 4 is 128, then what is the LCM? So same logic again, HCF into LCM is equals to product of the two numbers. HCF is 128, into LCM we need to find out. The two numbers are given as 1152 into 1664. Now I need to find out the LCM, so I will take 128 to the right side. Then what it will become? LCM is equals to 1152 into 1664 whole divided by 128. 128 ones are 128 nines are. So our LCM will be is equals to 9 times 1664. That will be equals to 14,000. Very big number. 14,976. So the LCM of the given two numbers is 14,976. That is option A. Next, the HCF of smallest composite number and the smallest prime number. So first of all, what is the smallest composite number? That is 4. And what is the smallest prime number? That is 2. So we need to find out the HCF. By simple logic, I can say that is 2 and 4 both are consecutive even numbers. So the HCF of consecutive even numbers is 2. Otherwise, do HCF, no problem. 2 and 4, if we take 2 2s are 4, 0 remainder. So whenever we get the 0 remainder, will stop the process, and at that time the divisor will become the HCF. So 2 is the HCF. Option C is the correct option. Next, a dash is a proven statement used for proving another statement, that is lemma. A lemma is already proven statement which we will use to prove another statement again. That is only in the 10th class we will learn about only one lemma, that is Euclid's division lemma, or simply Euclid's division or Euclid's division algorithm. Next, the product of a non-zero rational number and an irrational number. So one rational number I am taking 4 and I am multiplying with an irrational number root 2. So 4 times root 2, that is 4 root 2. 4 root 2 is an irrational number, so always irrational. Next, Euclid's division lemma states that for any positive integers a and b, there exist unique integers q and r such that a is equals to bq plus r when where r must be 0 less than or equals to r, which is less than b. Option C is the correct option. This is the Euclid's division lemma statement. Next, for some integer q, every even integer is of the form 2q. For some integer q, every odd integer is of the form none of the above, because that answer is 2q plus 1. So here option is not there. Next, the HCF of 52 and 130, highest common factor we need to find. So let us do the HCF. As I already said in the previous questions only, here we can able to solve by any method. So 52 and 130, if we check, 52 2s are 104. So 130 minus 104, it is 26. Bring that 52 here again. 26 2s are 52. So 0 remainder. So 26 is the answer. Highest common factor of 52 and 130 is 26. Option C. Next, root 3 is an irrational number. Option D is the correct option, because root 3 will be having neither terminating nor repeating type of decimal, so irrational. Next, the decimal expansion of 93 divided by 1500 will be. So here again he is asking something related to decimal, so we need to worry only about the denominator, that is 1500. Let us do the prime factorization of 1500. Last digit is 0, it will come in 5 tables. So 5 3s are 15, 00 as it is. 5 6 are 30, 0 as it is. 5 12s are 60. 3 4s are 12. Next 2 2s are 4. So the numerator is 93 divided by the denominator can be written as 5 cube into 3 into 2 square. Now before going to the conclusion, we need to check whether any simplification is possible or not possible. 3 ones are 331s. So now if we observe the denominator, here the denominator 5 and 2 only are there, so I can say that it is a terminating, because the denominator is in the form of 2 power n into 5 power m. Next, if the HCF, that is highest common factor of two numbers, is 1, then those numbers are called as co-primes or relatively primes. If the HCF of two numbers is 1, then those numbers are called as co-primes or relatively primes. Next question. If A and B are positive integers, then HCF into LCM is equals to, this is a simple formula as usual, I can say HCF into LCM is equals to product of the two numbers. So in this case the numbers are given as A and B, so that's why product of those numbers, that is A into B, is the answer. HCF into LCM is equals to A into B. Already based on this we solved problems also, so we can say perfectly now. Which of the following is a rational number? Root 36. Which number square is 36? Obviously that is 6. 6 square is 36. So he is asking about rational number only. 6 is a rational number. Answer completed. Next also, if we confirm other options, 21 is not a perfect square, 14 is not a perfect square, 12 is not a perfect square. So these all three comes under irrational numbers. Next, which of the following is not a rational number? Let us check. Root 36. Which number square is 36? It is 6 square. Root 25. 5 square is 25. Root 9. 3 square is 9. Which number square is 6? Nothing like that. So 3, 5, 6, these all are rational numbers, whereas this root 6 is an irrational number. So in the question he is asking about not a rational number. Not a rational number means irrational number. So option A. Next, the decimal expansion of pi. So pi is an irrational number. So irrational number means the types of decimal will be neither terminating nor repeating, otherwise non-terminating, non-repeating, otherwise non-terminating, non-recurring. So option C, non-terminating, non-recurring. Pi value is just approximately 22/7, but not exactly 22/7. So please don't get confused with that, because if we take 22/7 separately, 22/7 is in the form of P by Q, so I can say that 22/7 is a rational number. But if we compare with the pi, pi is an irrational number. So please don't get confused with that. Pi value is exactly not equals to 22/7. It is just an approximate value. Next, if P is a prime number and P divides K square, then obviously P divides K also. If P is a prime number, if P divides K square, then P divides K also. For example, if I take 5, okay, if I say that 5 is dividing 625, 625 is actually 25 square, okay. 5 divides 625 means then 5 should divide compulsory 25 also. Of course it divides 5 as a 25. So that's why if P divides K square, then P divides K also. If P is a prime number, then only that is not possible. Otherwise not possible in every case. Next, any one of the numbers, that is A plus 2 and A plus 4 is a multiple of. So any number we will take. For example, A, I am taking some 1. Let us substitute in that. First one is A, right? So 1. Next A plus 2, that is 1 plus 2. Next A plus 4, that is 1 plus 4. So 1 comma 1 plus 2 is 3 comma 1 plus 4 is 5. Next, for still confirmation, I am taking one more number, A equals to 2. Now A equals to 2, if we take 2 comma A plus 2, that is 2 plus 2 comma A plus 4, that is 2 plus 4. So what will get then? 2 comma 2 plus 2 is 4 comma 2 plus 4 is 6. Next number, if we take A equals to 3, I am taking now in this case, A equals to 3. So A equals to 3, if I take A, so it means 3. Then A plus 2, so 3 plus 2, 5. Next, a plus 4, 3 plus 4, 7. So, if we observe all these numbers, here 1, 3, 5, here 2, 4, 6, here 3, 5, 7. In this case, he is asking any one of the numbers. Any one only should be divisible. For example, if we take this 1, 3, 5, from the options, we can conclude that it is divisible by 3 or else 5 only. Next, second case I am taking 2, 4, 6. Out of 3 and 5, only 3 is divisible. I mean 3 divides these numbers. In last case 3, 5, 7 also if I take, again 3 only divides. So I can say that any one of the numbers a plus 2, a plus 4 is a multiple of 3 only. That is option B is the correct option. Option B is the correct option. Next, the number 0.57 bar in the form of P by Q. So here bar is for only the 7. 0.57 bar. Whatever the given question is there, let us assume that given question as x. So x is equals to 0.57 bar. So bar is for 7, right? So 7 only we need to continue. 5, 7, 7, 7, 7 and so on. Next, here how many digits are being repeated? Here only one digit is repeated. So that's why this total equation we need to multiply with 10. If 2 digits are repeated means 100. If 3 digits are repeated means 1000. If 4 digits are repeated means 10,000. Like that we need to multiply. So now let us check what happens then. 10 into x, 10x equals to 10 into 0.57777 and so on. So here if you are multiplying a decimal with 10, 100, 1000 like that, here how many zeros are there? 1 0 is there. So the decimal will move 1 digit towards the right side. Then it will become 5.777 and so on. This is equation, whatever we got after some simplification. Now, whatever the given question is there, write that as the first equation. That is x is equals to 0.5777 and so on. That is exact equation before multiplying with 10. Let us do the subtraction. 7 minus 7 0, 7 minus 7 0, then 7 minus 5 is 2 dot 5 minus 0 is 5. This equals to 10x minus x, that is 9x. So 9x is equals to 5.2. Then 9x is equals to 5.2. We don't want, we need to find out x value, so take 9 to the right side. Then x is equals to 5.2 divided by 9. Here 5.2 I am writing as 52 by 9. Here after the decimal 1 digit is there. I remove the decimal here, so that's why keep 1 0 here. So answer is 52 divided by 90. Next, simplification is possible. Yes, we need to do that one. 26 to 45. So 26 by 45 is the final answer. 26 by 45, that is option A. Next, the number 0.57 whole bar. In the previous case, the bar is for only the digit 7, whereas in this case, the bar is for 5 and 7 both. So first take the given question as x. X is equals to 0.57 is for both, right? So 57, 57, 57 and so on. Here 2 digits are repeating, so this we need to multiply with 100. So it will become 100 into x is equals to 100 into 0.575757 and so on. 100 into x, 100x is equals to, we are multiplying with 100, so the decimal will move 2 digits toward the right side. So this decimal will come here now. Then it will become 57.575757 and so on. This equation and this equation both we need to do subtraction. So x is equals to 0.5757 and so on. If we do the subtraction, 7 minus 7 zeros, 5 minus 5 0, 7 minus 7 0, 5 minus 5 0. 57 minus 0, 57 is equals to 100x minus x, 99x. So 99x is equals to 57. Then take x to the right side, it will become division. So x is equals to 57 divided by 99. Both will come in 3 table. So let us check where it will come in 3 tables. 3 19s are 57. 3, 33 is a 99. So our final answer is 19 by 33. Oh my god, that option is not there. Process is correct only, as well as the answer is also 100% 19 by 33 only. Option is not available actually, maybe printing mistake or something. 19 by 33 is the correct answer. Let us check the next question then. If m power n is equals to 32, m power n is given as 32. So m power n is equals to 32 can be written as 2 power 5. Except it as a 2 power 5, we cannot able to write it as any other power. So that's why I'm writing the only possibility 2 power 5. Then I can compare m to the 2 and n to the 5. So I can say that m value is 2 and n value is 5. Now he is asking the value of n power mn. So here n is 5 power, m is 2 into n is 5 again. So 5 power 2 5 is 10. So our answer is 5 power 10. That is option C. Next question. The number 0.211, 211, 241 and so on is a. Now if we observe the question clearly, here dashes are there. Clearly we can see dashes. Those dashes indicates that it is not at all ending, not at all terminating. It means non-terminating. Next, either any pattern is repeating or not repeating. 211, 211, 241, then 251, then 261. It continues like that only, but it is not at all repeating. So I can say that this decimal is non-terminating, non-repeating. So option C is the correct option. Non-terminating, non-repeating. Otherwise I can say that it is an irrational number. Next, which one of the following is not a rational number? Here root 2 is not a rational number, 0 is a rational number, root 4 is a rational number. This is not a rational number. Why I am saying this much fast means this is already completed. I think this is a question third time I am getting. I am extremely sorry for that, because by mistake maybe I added the same question more than once. Anyway, just one question or two questions only came like that, so no need to worry about it. Next question. If 9 by 7 whole power 3 into 49 by 81 whole power 2x minus 3 is equals to 7 by 9 whole power 9, then what is the value of x? Let us check once. Here first 9 by 7 whole power 3 is given. I will take to another side first. Then for this one I will do simplification. 49 can be written as 7 square by 81 can be written 9 square whole power 2x minus 6, that is equals to, right side already 7 by 9 whole power 9 is there, into, now from left side I am taking 9 by 7, right? If I take another side again it becomes reciprocal, 7 by 9 whole power 3. Now here 2 is there, here 2 is there, so that square is applicable for numerator as well as denominator, so that I can write it as 7 by 9 whole power 2 as well as whole power 2x minus 6 is equals to, here 7 by 9 whole power 9, 7 by 9 whole power 3. Both the bases are same, so if the bases are same we can add the powers. So if I add the power 7 by 9 power, here it is 9, here it is plus, 3. 9 plus 3, 12. Now here if we have two powers with a bracket, we need to multiply those. 7 by 9 power 2 into 2x, 4x minus 2 into 6, 12. That is equals to 7 by 9 whole power 12. Now if we observe the left side part and right side part, here the base is 7 by 9, here also the base is 7 by 9. Then if the bases are same or equal, then powers are also equal. 4x minus 12 is equals to 12. Take minus 12 to the right side. If you take the minus 12 to another side, then it becomes plus 12. So 4x is equals to 12 plus 12. Then 4x is equals to 12 plus 12 is 24. 4x is 24. Then what will be the x value? X is equals to 24 by 4. 4 ones are 4 6 are. So x is equals to 6. That is option D. Next, 2 plus root 3 plus root 5. Here 2 is a rational number, whereas root 3 and root 5 both are irrational numbers. So those two irrational numbers, if you add with a rational number, then definitely our answer is again an irrational only. Next, HCF and LCM of two numbers is given. Then he is asking to find out the product of the two numbers. So already we know the logic. HCF into LCM is equals to product of the two numbers. HCF is given as 4 and LCM is given as 96. Then he is asking just simply to find the product of the two numbers. Just simply if you multiply this, we will get the answer. 96 into 4 is 38,784. So option C is the correct option. Next one is the decimal expansion of 63 divided by 72 into 175. So again same, first we need to simplify the denominator. 72 can be written as 9 8s into 175 can be written as 5 into 35. Okay, if you feel this is little difficult, then we will go with the direct prime factorization, no problem at all. 72 if we do 3 24s, next again 3 8s, 2 4s, 2 2s. So 63 divided by 72 can be written as 3 square into 2 cube into next number 175. So for 175 also if you do prime factorization, 175 last digit is 5, so it will come in 5 table. 5 3 is a 15, 5 5 is a 25, 5 7 is a 35. So it means 5 square into 7 power 1 or simply 7. Now if we do for any cancellation or checking something, 7 1s are 7 9s are, here 9, here 3 square is 9, both will get cancelled. Now if you observe the denominator, here 2 power 3 is there, here 5 power 2 is there, only 2 and 5 are there in the denominator, so I can confirm that it is a terminating decimal. So option A is correct. As I already said, we need not to worry about the power, only the base is important for us. So here the base is 2 and here the base is 5, so definitely it is a terminating. Next, let x is equals to 7 by 20 into 25 be a rational number, then x has a decimal expansion which terminates after. So here the denominator is 20 into 25. 20 can be written as 5 into 4 into 25 can be written as 5 into 5. Here 5 is there one time, second time, third time, so 5 power 3 into 4 can be written as 2 square. As I already said in the previous questions, to find out after how many decimal places it will terminate, we need to check for the base. So which base having the biggest power. Here for 5 biggest power, power is 3, for 2 whereas the power is 2 only. So 3 is the biggest number, then it will terminate after 3 decimal places. So after 3 places of decimal, option B is the correct option. Next question, root 5 minus 3 minus 2. Here root 5 minus 3 minus 2. Root 5 is an irrational number, I cannot simplify further as it is. Then what is the value of minus 3 minus 2? It is minus 5. So root 5 minus 3 minus 2 is nothing but root 5 minus 5. Here 5 is a rational whereas root 5 is irrational number. So if these two numbers, if we do subtraction, again our answer will be an irrational number. Next, 0.36 bar in P by Q form. Here bar is for both the digits 3 and 6. First the given question, take it as x. 0.36 bar, 0.2 digits are repeating, so that's why repeat here also 36 36 36 36 36 and so on. Here 2 digits are repeating, so that's why we need to multiply this total equation with 100. 100 into x is equals to 100 into 0.363636 and so on. 100 into x, 100x is equals to, we are multiplying with 100, so the decimal will move 2 digits right side, so it will become 36.363636 and so on. Now this equation and the first equation we need to do subtraction. So here x is equals to 0.363636 and so on. 6 minus 6 cancel, 6 3 minus 3 0, 6 minus 6 0, 3 minus 3 0, 36 minus 0 is 36, 100x minus x, 99x. So we got our answer as 99x is equal to 36. 99x is equal to 36. 3 12s are 3 33s are 3 11s are 3 4s are. So this 11, if we take another side, then x is equals to 4 divided by 11. So x value we got as 4 by 11. So in this option is not there, none of the above. Next question, what is the value of root 5 plus root 2 into root 5 minus root 2? Now if we observe this question, it is in the form of a plus b into a minus b. So a plus b into a minus b is equals to a square minus b square. Then it can be written as root 5 plus root 2 into root 5 minus root 2. So a plus b into a minus b formula, that is a square minus b square. So root 5 square minus root 2 square. Square root square cancel, square root square cancel, then we remains with 5 minus 2. 5 minus 2 is 3. So option C is the correct option. Next one, 0.66666 and so on in p by q form. So directly this is just one digit only repeating, so directly from options we can discuss. That is 2 by 3 is the answer, directly we can say. In 3 table 2 won't come, so 0.0. 3 6 are 18, 2 remainder, again 0. 3 6 are 18, 2 remainder, again 0. 3 6 are 18, again 2 remainder. So continues like that only. So 0.66666 and so on. It means the answer is 2 divided by 3. Because in the denominator if 3 is there means it won't end ever. Next, what is the decimal representation of the number 8 divided by 27? So we need to go with 27 and 8 we need to do. So now here if observe 27 table, 8 won't come anyway, so that's why 0 point. Here we need to keep 0. So then 27 3s are 81 comes, so 21 7 2s are 54. 80 minus 54 is 26. Again 27 table 26 won't come, so what we will do, already decimal is there, so we can keep one more 0 here, no problem at all. Now 27 table 260, 10s are won't come anyway, so 9s are will check. 27 9s are 243. So 260 minus 243, it is 17. Again 27 table 17 won't come, but already decimal is there, so we can write one more 0 here. Then if you observe 27 table near to 170, 6 are 27 6 are 162. 170 minus 162, 8. 8 is nothing but already our starting number. So I can say that 0.296. So these 3 digits 296 will repeat continuously. So 0.296 whole bar. Option A is the correct option. Next, 5 divided by 6 in the decimal form. So 6 5. 6 table 5 won't come, so 0.0. 6 8s are 48, 2 remainder 0. 6 3s are 18, 2 remainder again 6 3s are 18, again 2 remainder. 6 3s are 18, again 2 remainder. It continues like that only. So 0.888, sorry, 8 3 3 3 3 3 3 3. So 8, only 3 is repeating, so bar is for 3 only. So 0.83 bar. That is option A. Next, 3 by 8. First, this is in what we say, mixed fraction. This mixed fraction we need to convert to improper fraction. 3 by 8 is given. First multiply these two numbers, 8 3s are 24, and plus add this number. So 24 plus 3, it is 27 divided by 8. Now 27 by 8 we need to do division. So 22 by 7 means anyway it won't be 337, it won't be 33 also. So from these two only it will be the answer. So then how we will check that also, which one is the correct one? Let us check here. 8 can be written as 2 cube. So here the power is 3. It means after the decimal 3 digits should be there. So answer B is the correct one. 3.375 is the answer.